Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1 today, we've got something truly incredible for you, a story about one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever produced by the United States Mint, the 1966 Lincoln penny. Yes, we're talking about a 1-cent coin. Just a humble penny. But this is no ordinary pocket change. This small piece of copper could be hiding in your drawer, resting in an old coin jar, or lying unnoticed at the bottom of a forgotten box. And by the end of this video, you might want to start searching, because this rare coin has shocked collectors with its skyrocketing value. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1966 Lincoln penny so special. In 1966, the United States was in the middle of a major transition. The nation was recovering from the Kennedy assassination, civil rights movements were at their peak, and the Vietnam War was escalating. It was a time of political and social transformation, and in the middle of all that, the U.S. Mint was quietly dealing with its own crisis, a nationwide coin shortage. To keep up with demand, the Mint had to produce millions of coins quickly. But in doing so, something strange happened. Some coins, especially the pennies, were struck with subtle variations and, in rare cases, minting errors that slipped through quality control. These rare versions of the 1966 Lincoln penny became the stuff of legend in the numismatic world. The standard 1966 penny was made from a bronze alloy, 95% copper and 5% zinc. It features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor D. Brenner, a design that has stood the test of time since 1909. On the reverse side is the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design that would remain in place until 2008. Now here's where things get interesting. Most 1966 pennies are worth face value, but not all. Certain versions of this coin, because of their rarity, condition, or unique minting flaws, are worth a fortune. So what should you look for? First, condition is everything. A 1966 penny in poor or average circulated condition likely won't raise any eyebrows. But one in mint state, meaning it has no wear and retains its original shine, can be extremely valuable to collectors. Next, look for errors. Some 1966 pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning they weren't made of the proper material. Others have double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual surface marks. These kinds of mint errors are incredibly rare, and when certified by experts, they can demand astonishing prices. Imagine this: a tiny flaw, barely visible to the naked eye, could turn your 1-cent coin into a prized possession worth more than a luxury car. It's not science fiction, it's real numismatic history. Collectors have long debated over the rarity of the 1966 penny compared to other years, and what's become clear is this: when a high-grade, rare error 1966 Lincoln penny appears on the market, it becomes a hot item. Bidding wars erupt, collectors compete, and the price climbs higher and higher. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to be the lucky owner of a rare 1966 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one with a verified minting error, then your 1-cent coin could be worth as much as $93,000. Yes, you heard that right. $93,000 for a single penny. So before you overlook that old coin in your drawer or toss a handful of change into a jar, take a moment to check. That small, copper coin could be holding a big secret. It might just be your hidden treasure. Top 2, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1967 Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1-cent coin from 1967 could be hiding an unbelievable secret. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors are going crazy over this small piece of metal, and why you should be checking your own coin stash right now. Let's set the stage. It's 1967. America is in the middle of a cultural revolution. The Beatles are topping the charts, the Vietnam War is intensifying, and across the country, change is in the air. And right in the middle of this era of transformation, the U.S. Mint was quietly pumping out millions of coins to keep up with a rapidly growing economy. Among these was the Lincoln penny, something so common, so ordinary, that most people wouldn't think twice before tossing it into their pocket or letting it fall between the couch cushions. But what if I told you that one of these coins, struck in that very year, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars today? The 1967 Lincoln penny was part of a very unique period in U.S. coin history. Just a year earlier, in 1965, the Mint had made the decision to temporarily remove mint marks from all coins to discourage coin hoarding during a national coin shortage. That means 1967 pennies don't have a mint mark, making it more difficult to trace where each one was produced, but also adding an air of mystery and intrigue to the coins of this era. The design of the 1967 penny is classic and iconic. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile, a symbol of American resilience, sculpted by Victor D. Brenner. On the back, the Lincoln Memorial, detailed and powerful, with tiny engravings that can only be appreciated when seen up close. But among the millions of these coins that were struck, there are a few that stand out either because they were minted with errors, struck on the wrong type of planchet, or preserved in such perfect, uncirculated condition that they look as if they were made yesterday. And those, my friends, are the ones collectors are scrambling to find. So what makes a 1967 penny truly rare? There are several things to look for. First and foremost is condition. Coins that have been circulated, passed from hand to hand, through cash registers and vending machines, tend to wear down over time. But a coin that has been carefully stored, never touched, never scratched, and kept in near perfect condition? That's something special. Next up, mint errors. During the high-pressure production process, mistakes can happen. Sometimes a coin is struck off-center. Other times, it might be double-struck, or struck on the wrong metal blank. There are even examples of 1967 pennies that were struck on silver dime planchets, creating a hybrid coin that shouldn't exist. These are called error coins, and they are extremely rare. But because they're so unusual, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to add them to their collections. And here's something else you should know. When coins like this appear at auction, especially if they've been graded and certified by professional coin grading services, they don't last long. Bidders go wild. The price shoots up. And suddenly, a penny that once sat unnoticed in a jar becomes a treasure worth more than most people's entire savings account. And now, imagine this. You're going through your old coins. You find a 1967 penny. You take a closer look. The shine is brilliant. There's no sign of wear. Maybe it even looks unusual. Could it be? Could you be holding something more than just a piece of change? Here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to have a rare 1967 Lincoln penny in flawless condition, perhaps even with a mint error, its value could climb as high as $88,000. That's right. $88,000 for a 1-cent coin. Top 3, we're diving into the fascinating tale of a humble coin that could be hiding in your pocket right now. It's the 1971 Lincoln penny. Yes, just a simple 1-cent coin with a Denver mint mark, but one that could be worth far more than its face value. So sit back, relax, and prepare to look at your spare change in a whole new light. Let's take a trip back to 1971. The Vietnam War was still raging, the microprocessor had just been invented, and America was navigating political tensions and cultural shifts. Amidst this turbulent backdrop, the Denver Mint was hard at work producing millions of pennies, tiny copper discs that would go on to live quiet lives in people's pockets, purses, and piggy banks. The 1971 Lincoln penny is one of those coins. On the surface, it looks just like any other. It features the iconic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, on the obverse. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, with such fine detail that if you look closely, you can actually make out Lincoln's statue inside the monument. But not all 1971 pennies are created equal. While most were produced in massive numbers and used in everyday transactions, a select few hold secrets that have captured the attention of serious coin collectors and sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. You see, when coins are mass-produced at high speeds, things don't always go perfectly. And in rare instances, the tiniest mistake or flaw can make a coin extremely valuable. The 1971 penny is no exception. Some of these coins were struck with minting errors so rare that only a handful are known to exist. One of the most sought-after variations is the 1971 Lincoln penny with a double die obverse. This means the coin was struck twice, slightly off alignment, resulting in noticeable doubling on features like the date or the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." These doubled images aren't just cool to look at, they're like rare fingerprints, making each error coin totally unique. But that's not all. Other rare 1971 pennies have been discovered struck on different metal planchets, such as leftover blanks meant for dimes or foreign coins. These off-metal errors are extremely uncommon and immediately catch the eye of collectors. And when paired with a high-grade condition, these flaws can send the coin's value through the roof. Condition is another crucial factor. Most pennies that have been in circulation for years are scratched, worn, or discolored. But if a 1971D penny was carefully preserved, perhaps forgotten in a coin roll or stored in a protective case, it could still retain its original shine and detail. These mint state coins are far more desirable, and if paired with an error, they become even more valuable. So, what does this mean for you? It means that buried in a drawer, jar, or old coin collection, you might just have one of these rare pennies. It might look ordinary, but the right combination of mint mark, condition, and error could make it a collector's dream. Imagine the feeling of finding a coin you thought was worthless only to learn it could pay for a new car, a dream vacation, or even a down payment on a house. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you were lucky enough to come across a rare 1971D Lincoln penny in uncirculated condition, especially one with a certified double die error or off metal strike, then you could be holding something worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you heard that right. A small copper penny, worth $80,000. So before you pass by your coin jar without a second glance, take a moment. Look closely. That little 1971D cent could change your life. Top 4 story is about a coin that millions of people have held, spent, or completely overlooked without a second thought. It's small, copper-colored, and often taken for granted. But what if I told you that one very specific penny from 1981, with a little D mark under the date, could be worth more than you ever imagined? Yes, you heard that right. The 1981D Lincoln penny, something that most people would toss into a coin jar, might just be the hidden gem that changes everything. And in this video, we're going to explore how and why. Let's jump back to 1981. The world was shifting. Ronald Reagan had just been elected president, MTV was about to revolutionize entertainment, and the digital era was on the horizon. Amidst all this change, the U.S. Mint in Denver was quietly producing millions of Lincoln pennies. The D you see beneath the date stands for Denver, where this coin was born. And now, the 1981 Lincoln penny might seem like just another part of everyday life. It carries the same familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, originally designed by Victor D. Brenner. And on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial still proudly stands, etched in incredible detail. From a distance, there's nothing unusual about it. It's the same penny we've all seen 1,000 times, but here's where things get interesting. In the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was going through an important transition. Inflation had driven up the cost of producing coins, and the copper content of pennies was becoming a financial issue. Though the full switch to a copper-plated zinc composition wouldn't happen until 1982, changes in production methods and materials were already in motion in 1981. That made this particular year, and the coins produced during it, stand out. Now, while hundreds of millions of 1981D pennies were minted, a select few were produced with subtle but powerful differences. Some were struck with minor errors, double dies, off-center images, or design elements that didn't align perfectly. Others were accidentally made using experimental planchets or leftover blanks from other coin types. These small minting mistakes may have slipped past quality control back in the day, but today, they're incredibly valuable. And there's one more factor you can't ignore: condition. If your 1981D penny is scratched, worn down, or has spent years sliding across countertops and rattling in pockets, it's probably not worth much. But if you somehow have one in mint state, meaning it has no signs of wear and maintains its original luster, you might be looking at something far more than just a penny. And now think about this: how many old coin jars, shoeboxes, or forgotten drawers are hiding a penny like that? Thousands of people might unknowingly be sitting on a small fortune, all because they never looked closely at the change they once ignored. Collectors today are always on the hunt for these rare 1981D varieties. They get professionally graded, auctioned off, and become the centerpiece of valuable collections. And when a rare specimen hits the market, it doesn't go unnoticed. Bidding wars can break out, and the final selling price can be jaw-dropping. So here's what you should do. The next time you go through your coins, especially if you're sorting through older rolls, look for that 1981 penny with the D mint mark. Check the condition. Is it clean? Does it have sharp details? Better yet, does it show signs of a minting error? Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to discover a rare 1981D Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, particularly one with a verified mint error, then your simple 1-cent coin could be worth as much as $75,000. Yes, $75,000 for a penny that could easily be hiding in plain sight. So don't overlook the smallest coins in your collection. What looks ordinary could be something extraordinary. It's time to take a second look at those old pennies. You never know what kind of treasure might be hiding right in front of you. Top 5 where small change can turn into big surprises. If you love coins, collecting, or simply enjoy the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, then today's video is going to blow your mind. We're about to dive into the incredible story of a coin that millions of people have spent without a second thought, a coin that could be quietly sitting in your pocket, your old piggy bank, or an inherited coin jar. It's the 1972 Lincoln penny. And yes, this tiny 1-cent coin could be far more valuable than it seems. Let's roll back the clock to 1972. Richard Nixon was president, Atari was launching the video game revolution, and American coins were being minted by the millions. In Denver, the U.S. Mint was producing countless Lincoln pennies, each stamped with that small but significant D just below the year. To most, these coins were nothing more than everyday currency. Toss them in your pocket, use them for change, move on. But not all 1972 D pennies are created equal. On the surface, the design looks familiar. The legendary Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, dignified and resolute, just as Victor D. Brenner envisioned back in 1909. And on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, standing proud in sharp architectural detail. But hidden within the sea of copper were a handful of coins that turned out to be extraordinary. Here's where things get interesting. You see, the minting process is a fast-paced, high-pressure operation. When you're striking billions of coins a year, mistakes are bound to happen. Most are caught and melted down. But every now and then, a few slip through. And that's when magic happens. In the case of the 1972 D penny, a few specific types have caused a buzz in the numismatic world. Some show doubling on the date or lettering, a result of a misaligned die during the minting process. Others may have been struck slightly off-center, or even on planchets meant for different coins, which is extremely rare. These small details, almost invisible to the average person, are what collectors live for. And now, let's talk about condition. You might find a 1972 D penny in your change right now, but unless it's in exceptional shape, it likely won't be worth more than face value. But if you come across one that's been well preserved, crisp edges, untouched luster, and no visible wear, then you might be holding something truly special. And it's not just about errors in condition. It's also about scarcity. Coins from this year were mass-produced, but high-grade examples with confirmed minting flaws are incredibly hard to find today. Especially after decades of circulation. That's what drives collectors wild, finding the rare, the unusual, the nearly perfect in a world of ordinary. And now picture this, you're going through an old collection passed down from your grandfather. You're not expecting much, just a handful of common coins. But then you spot a 1972 D penny. Something about it catches your eye. The color is brighter, the details sharper. You take a closer look, maybe even have it appraised. And suddenly, you realize this isn't just any coin, because yes, there are 1972 D Lincoln pennies out there, rare ones, in mint condition, with confirmed errors, that have reached stunning values in the collector's market. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to have one of these elusive 1972 D Lincoln pennies, especially in pristine, uncirculated condition, and with a verified minting anomaly, then that tiny copper coin in your hand could be worth as much as $70,000. That's right. $70,000 for a single penny. So don't underestimate the power of what's in your pocket. The next time you come across an old penny, take a closer look. That 1-cent coin might just be the key to a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a discovery. There's a whole world of hidden treasures waiting to be found, and you just might be holding one right now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting.